Welcome to Swivle. Swivle is WoodWing's cloud-based digital asset management system. Let's have a look around. I'm logged into the main screen here. Since everything is cloud-based, I'll be working inside of a browser. This is Google Chrome, but Swivle works inside of any major browser. You'll see that here I have a result set in the center in a masonry view, a filter bar on the left-hand side, and some panels on the right, the moment metadata, telling me information about what I might have selected in the center. Outside of that, there are a few persistent items around the screen, and the screen won't really change while we're using the system. What we're going to look at today is executing searches inside of Swivle, getting info into Swivle, working with assets inside of Swivle, and then sharing our assets both with folks internally and externally. So let's get started. If you've worked with any kind of web-based search system before, this is going to work exactly the same. There's a persistent search bar here, and you can type a keyword. I'm going to use the word nature, and that's going to bring up a result set related to that keyword. All of those results are driven by metadata. I've selected this hummingbird, and you'll see in the panel on the right-hand side, all of the metadata associated with that particular asset. Of particular note are the tags and the tags from artificial intelligence, which are driving this search. If you opt for the optional AI package, every time that an asset is uploaded into Swivle, it'll be sent to an image recognition server and a tag cloud will be returned, and that tag cloud becomes immediately searchable. All the other assets inside of the system are coming in either through human data entry or because they were already a part of the asset when it got to us, and then we pulled those out of the system. You'll notice there are documents here as well, and documents are indexed on the way in, so all of the text in a readable document also automatically becomes searchable. If I want to go beyond just entering keywords, I have a filter bar here, and that allows me to drill down into that result set. So for example, if I know that I'm not interested in documents, but only in images, I can drill into those. And then I could choose specific tags to add into my search. And I can also choose a status. And I'm going to say I want all of the nature photos that are at final status. And you'll see that brings me down to 5 photos, which is a much more reasonable result set to work with. I can preview those in full screen right inside of the browser, and then I can make my selects from there. If I'm not a search type person and I prefer to work in a traditional file structure, we also have a file browser, which you can pull down from the top, and you can navigate just like you would a file structure on your desktop. So I could go, for example, into my animals folder, and then I'll find all of my animals there that match this other criteria. I can then select those images individually. So that's another way to get at things inside of the system. The second thing I want to look at is getting assets into the system. It's really straightforward. You could either drag and drop onto the interface, or there's a big upload files button here. And if I choose that, it'll bring up a Finder window in the case of Mac, a File Explorer window in the case of PC. And then I can navigate my folders, choose an asset or assets to upload. And then when I choose open, they just start uploading in the background. All of the AI stuff will happen, all of the generation of previews and the pulling in of the metadata as well. And I can continue with my work while that goes on. And when they're done, they will become assets in the area of the system that I was working last. As I work through these, I'm going to go back to my nature search again. After I've drilled down into a result set that I'm happy with, I can actually start doing things with the images. On top of just looking at the metadata that exists for those images, I can, as we've seen, preview in full screen. I can select multiple assets to preview at one time. So if I wanted to do something of a light board, I could grab 3 assets and look at them next to each other. And I can also do some simple image manipulation, like rotating and flipping left and right. Beyond that, I'd have to actually check these out. And if I have the right to, I can right-click on that and choose Checkout. And what that's going to do is it's going to open whatever asset I have selected in the app that is meant to edit that particular asset. So this image was meant to be edited in Photoshop, and it's gone ahead and opened itself inside of Photoshop. I can then do the edits that I want to do here, like cropping, for example. And then when I choose to save those down just by closing, I save, and the changes will be saved right into the system. Switching back to Swivle, you'll see an indication that a change has made. I go ahead and I check this asset in, and all of the changes that I made in Photoshop now become the next version of this asset in the system. Versions are easily identifiable by opening the version panel on the right-hand side, where we see a list of all of the changes that have been made to any particular asset, and we get access to all of the previous versions, so that I can always go back and reference an older version or make it the current version once again if I want to do that. And that works with any kind of asset that I have inside of the system. If it's a document, it'll open in the appropriate document editing app. And if it's a video, it'll open in the appropriate video editing app. And our system handles all of the file management and version management for that. The last piece I want to look at is collaboration. We can collaborate both with people who are logged into the system by creating collections, and there's a panel for that on the right-hand side. I can create a collection, say, for example, a project that I'm working on. If I'm working on this nature project, I can create a nature project collection, and then I can put any assets that I want to be a part of that project into that collection, and I can share that nature collection with other collaborators who have access to the system. If I'm working with people who aren't a part of my ecosystem, say freelancers, vendors, or clients, I have the option of creating an external share on these collections. When I do that, I'm brought to a new screen where I can enter some information, like this is our workspace, expiration dates, the ability to upload, and approvals as well. And when I create that share, I get a link that can be sent to someone who doesn't have a license for the system. And when they click on it, they'll be brought to a sandbox where all they have access to is exactly what I've given them access to. And this bucket here becomes a portal. If they upload images into this, those show in my collection as the logged in user. And if I add additional images as the logged in user, those will show in this share as well for the person who has access to it. And I can remove that share anytime I want to stop that collaboration. We have a more advanced type of share called a portal for times when you need something a little more designed. And those look like this. They're essentially those shares, except they can be password protected. And you can also add branding, logos, and sections into which the user can drill and look for topic-related assets. So that's a very top-level view of Swivle and some of the features and functionalities. If you'd like to see more, please feel free to get in touch with us over at woodwing.com, and we'd love to talk to you and set up an online demo.